In this video, you're going to find practical wisdom from a woman who lived it. I share from experience, not theory, what I wish I had known sooner. Hello, this is Martha MacGyver. I'm here to share with you the way to make 20 to 28 meals on a budget. So here's some meal prepping ideas. I start with a bucket list, a chore list the night before. I get my tea all ready for the next morning. I took my dog with me to run errands, get some blood work, stopped by the gas station, and got a great deal. And here you'll see the parking lot is empty. Most people don't shop at 7:30 in the morning. And you'll see my list here. What's nice, no lines, no waiting. You'll see I do have a water cooler, hot and cold water, and we'll talk about watering, filtering, and whatnot in another video. But here you'll see I have a collection of groceries and another collection of groceries. This is my water spigot that I fill up my gallon jugs, and I make sure that I avoid salt water. Okay, we are back from our morning errands, and we went grocery shopping, and I am now going to show you what shopping looked like. I want to first, again, I don't represent anybody, but I want to give a huge shout out to Aldi. Though I did not shop there today, I shopped at a different health food store that I normally don't shop at, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, just because it's way out of my budget. But if you're a person who's kind of green and crunchy like I aim to be, 99% of what I'm shopping today, in my opinion, is a bit overpriced and marketed and displayed absolutely beautifully. And I'd say 99% of what I'm making today will be organic. So in the back of my vehicle, I always carry storage containers to recycle, to avoid, a massive storage of plastic bags. And everything you see on the table here are some meals that I'll be purchasing. I'll share with you what I spent and what I intend to make. I do want to add over here, these 6 items that I purchased have a different use, and so I will be taking that off of the total price that I show you. So whenever I can get a buy one half off special from the store, I always do that. So I decided to make some meatloaf, use the meat for my lasagna, as well as make some chili and maybe even a little side dish if there's enough to go around for some freezer storage of spaghetti sauce for when I'm in a quick pinch. So this is how it starts. And I will add, this is some additional items that I did pick up at Aldi, and it's literally a fraction of the cost. You can still get really good items, but I just wanted to show you what it was like to splurge. These items here are less than $20. I think it was $18 and change, and I had to get some stock inventory, some olive oil, parchment paper, extra bags that I use, and some organic butternut squash and mixed vegetables that I add to my homemade dog food. I also wanted to add some broccoli and have a side dish of Brussels sprouts, which I love them broiled. Today's video is on meal prepping, planning, how to have an efficient day, and I'm going to be sharing with you now the secrets. One secret I have that's super helpful is to start the day before. Have my to-do bucket list going, and I have a plan, so we'll see what happens. One thing that I do is I check my refrigerator and freezer. I make sure that I've used up everything, it's clean. I make sure my dishes are out of the way, everything's put away, that I have counter space to work on. I also check my pantry and cabinets to see what I have left. Do I have an onion soup packet? Do I have any extra beans? What might I have that I want to use up? Because that might give me ideas for my recipe when I head to the store. So here you can see my receipt. I finished shopping and checked out at 7:54 a.m. I did put a mark by the items that I was taking off of this, and $180.71 minus the $13 for a different use, and that brings it to a total of $167.41. So some of the meals that I plan to make, I first want to say the plan's very different. I have been meal prepping long enough where I don't need to do menu, quantities, and all of that. I've been doing this long enough, and to be honest with you, I don't care that much that the recipe's absolutely perfect. Sometimes it comes out amazing, sometimes like, oh, I've made it better before, but it's still good. And so I did intend to see if they had any after Thanksgiving specials. I wanted to see if I could buy a huge turkey. They did not, so I ended up purchasing 2 whole chickens so that I could still demonstrate how to make bone broth. I have some sauce, I have some spinach, some kale greens. I'll show you some soups that I make with that, as well as snacks, as well as using some of that for my homemade dog food. You'll see some other cheeses, mushrooms, beans. I plan to make chili, I plan to make chicken, I plan to make soup, I plan to make bone broth, I plan to make lasagna, I plan to make meatloaf, I plan to make stuffed bell peppers. So here they did have a special today. So when I got there, it was on special. This meat is seldom to never on sale, and it was buy one get one half off, and I said okay then. Well, as always, things don't typically go as planned. My potatoes had eyes on them my entire bag, and I decided to plant them instead of cook them. When you're roasting multiple chickens, it's best to try to get the weight as close as possible. So almost 6 pounds, 5.70 and 5.41. So they're really close, within 0.3. So they'll cook about the same time. If you did have different sizes or different weights, you could put the larger one in first. You want to plan for about 20 minutes per pound. So that would give you a general idea. I'm going to be cooking up these 2 today. Here you'll see me cutting up vegetables that I plan to put underneath the chicken to help for my soup stock later. So I have onions, garlic, carrots, celery, and plan to put that underneath and within the chicken. Whatever seasonings you like to use, and I spread it with olive oil and put the seasonings on. I typically preheat the oven at 425, and after I put the chicken in, I reduce it to 400 and cook 20 minutes per pound. It's really important to note when you're dealing with raw meat to make sure that you clean everything properly that you're working with. Here you'll see that I placed my sweet potatoes in the oven just to pre-cook them a little bit to help them be easier to peel the skin off and to make them easier to cut. And in this photo you'll see where I am boiling the giblets to create flavor for seasoning, to cook vegetables, and to add to my dog food. Gotta keep the puppy happy. Here you'll see me sauteing the veggies for my stuffed bell peppers. I did add that microwave pouch of rice, and I don't have a microwave, so I did add a little additional water, cover with the lid, and mix everything together for my stuffed bell peppers. Add a touch of water, sauce, and cover for a few minutes. It's getting close to time to take the chicken out, and I'll get my oven back for my lasagna. Right before I start cleaning up, I just wanted to show you what I have so far. 8 stuffed bell peppers, a serving for 2 people of spaghetti sauce, 2 roasted chickens that I'm waiting for them to cool. I'm going to start heating up the water for the bone broth. I have some chili simmering and a large meatloaf, 2 pounds, in the oven. While I am waiting on the chili and the meatloaf to finish up and the chicken to cool so I can debone it, this is all the dishes that I've used today for all these meals. My kitchen sink is clean, and next I'm going to show you a little trick. No big deal, but food on dishes gross me out. Sometimes I like to use this rubber thing. It works real well in the dishwasher, and food and bacteria doesn't get into the sponges. I take all my new sponges and I cut them in half. That way they last me longer, and I can throw out the disgusting ones when they have no more use. I do filter my own water, so if you ever want to see a video on that, let me know. The meatloaf has about 3 more minutes remaining, and of course it'll have to sit, cool, and I'll be able to slice it and have larger portions and smaller portions if some are for lunch or to take to somebody, or see how that goes. All right, see you soon. My trusted friend waiting for his walk. Hello, I've pushed hard today and I am not worried about a fancy video or everything's said properly or done properly. Mostly my goal is solely to teach you efficiency, saving money, ideas, creativity. This is not about nutrition. It's definitely not about proper recipes, but I want to give you some ideas. First of all, plan the night ahead of time. Clean your kitchen, clean your refrigerator, clean the freezer. I set out to do just that. I have my bucket to-do list, as you know, and I looked through the pantry to make sure what I had, what I could maybe use, see what was on sale. I got up early this morning for blood work, and I took my pup with me. It was dark and he looked sad and didn't want to stay home, so I decided, okay, come with me. So we enjoyed a nice drive, about a 45-minute drive, and then I stopped for gas for the week, filled up, and I wanted to see if a grocery store was open, and the only one that was open was a higher end, more organic type store, and therefore I only typically shop there about 3 or 4 times a year. It's out of my typical budget, and I find when I shop at Aldi, I can get everything I need, and most of it is organic, so I enjoy that. I made sure I had my tea ready too, because I knew I'd be a little bit rushed this morning getting up so early and leaving so early. So I had my tea already out of my hot water. I wanted it to be ready, and I sprinkled cinnamon when I got out from getting my blood work. I wanted to make sure I had some caffeine in me and something in my belly so I wouldn't feel too hungry shopping and I could get it done quick. And I was actually out of the grocery store before 8 a.m. So it's really fun when you shop that early. Nobody's in the parking lot. There's no lines in the stores. So everything did go faster. Then I was driving home, and I am human. I realized I might run out of plastic bags. I didn't check to see if I was properly ready to meal prep, and I don't have the pans since I've downsized, so I better pick up some aluminum pans. So that is what I did. I turned around, wasted a little bit of time, went back to Aldi, and for 20-30 bucks I got everything I needed and was ready to go. So let's see my notes. I came home, I unpacked, and it was a bit of a waste of time, but that's okay. I'm so sorry this video is so awful. I'm just doing my best. My best has got to be good enough. So it's now 5 p.m. It is a commitment, but what I did today, if you choose to try it, it will save you so much money, less waste. You'll use everything you have. You can add stuff to other things that you're making. Plenty of food on hand. Never wondering about the grocery store. The only thing worse than going to the grocery store is going to the grocery store after work and waiting in long lines. No thank you. You'll have less dishes to wash. You waste less electricity while the oven's on. Cook 3 meals at once. And you use less water. You can reuse your pan. Just fill the pan up. Fill the pan up. If it's something that doesn't work, quick rinse, fill the pan up. So I made today 20 meals for $180, so about $6.50 each. And those meals are, I would say, 95% organic. If I had shopped at Aldi, I could have made those 20 plus meals for about $4 a piece. So you can budget in times like this. And I'm not big on planning. I've learned to cook. I don't worry about following major recipes. I try to eat as healthy as possible and as proper nutrition as possible, what's good for my body, and what works with what I'm trying to prepare based on what's on sale and what I have left in my cabinet. So I truly hope this information is beneficial to you. Now I'd like to share with you, this is how much chicken, light meat, dark meat, that I got with a just over 5-pound chicken. There's more than you think, and when you clean the bone like this, it's very easy to get all of it. And I'm going to put these bones into the stock pot and simmer them overnight. And here's the chicken from the second, the meat. And here you'll see the bones. And I just want to say it's really important to get the cartilage, everything. I'm even putting the skin. I could take more meat off of this. So don't be shy when you're cleaning. Some of this will be good for fajitas, some of it will be good for chicken soup, some of it will be good for chicken salad. This is going to make a whole bunch more meals. My point is, don't just worry about the bones. Sometimes I do my broth a little bit cleaner. This time I'm doing my broth with all the skin, all the cartilage. If I had chicken feet, I'd do it as well. But don't be shy about leaving like this cartilage in there. This is really nutritious. You'll find that when you cook this down after about 17 hours, it'll almost dissolve. And the marrow in the bones, what's in here, when you cook it on low for a long time, you get all the nutrition that's in there. But this time I'm including some of the fat. I'm including the skin. I will skim the top, but I am adding this. If I wanted really clean broth, I would not have put the liquid from, cooking the neck and the gizzard and the heart and liver and all that for my dog. But most of this is fat on here. But this time I will be putting all the bones in from both, as well as cartilage and skin. And then you'll see when it cools overnight, it will, that's the part I will skim off. All right, gonna add this to the pot. As you can see, I've added the other bones to the pot. I'm going to turn this up, bring it to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down to simmer, and I'm going to let it cook overnight, approximately 12 to 24 hours. Usually I do right around 17, 18 hours. The bones seem to get really soft and it seems to have a high amount of nutrition. Then I let it cool, then I strain it, then I let it get room temperature. Then I put it in the refrigerator and leave it overnight, and then I skim the fat off the top, and then I store it in slabs so that I can stack it well in the freezer. Simmering the bone broth overnight, and I'd like to ask you, what are 20 to 26 dinners worth to you? How much money do you spend on each meal? How much work? How much time? How many trips to the grocery store? How many times dirtying a pan and washing a pan? How many hours do you stand in the kitchen preparing? If you could do it once and have multiple meals, is it worth it to you? The kitchen is clean, put back together, and the final dish is washed. While I'm waiting for the broth to cool, I'm going to take the meals that I put in the refrigerator overnight to cool down and get those ready for the freezer storage. You might be saying to yourself, I don't have that kind of time. This is true. It took a full day and an hour or two today by the time I'm finished. After straining the broth, freezing, labeling, dating, putting your meals, listing them. It's true. For me, I only go to the store one time. I might stop real quick, a 20-minute once a week. It saves time on going to the store. It saves you gas runs. The torture of figuring out what to have for dinner. It definitely saves extra money. And on the time when you go to the grocery store and you might pick up extra things that you really don't need or waste, throw away certain things, I used every bit of food, including the bones, to make the broth. I love to know that I'm going to have food when people come over. They stop by after a long day of work. I'm always going to have something to eat, something to pack in my lunchbox. Many meals are packaged smaller for lunches. I don't eat out. That definitely saves money. I do go to the grocery store one time a week for fresh goods and a variety, but it's a very quick stop and a very affordable stop. With the soup and smaller portions for lunch, it really helps to have each meal end up actually being a lower expense. So with the chicken, there's zero waste. I have, if you want to know what I ended up with, I have 4 bone broth for other meals, things to sip on when you're not feeling well, to add to other recipes, to add the broth as your liquid, or if you're cooking rice. I have 4 soup dinners with the vegetables. You can, and chicken. You can add some noodles or rice as a side dish. So I have 1 chicken salad for later today. For lunch, I have a chicken breast and Brussels sprouts for dinner. Love them roasted in the oven. I have a little package of extra chicken for when I make fajitas, and I have another little package of chicken if I'm going to put together a Caesar salad or something like that. So 12 meals. Those 2 chickens made 12 meals. And let's see, chili, I have 4 large containers, 2 smaller containers, so that's 6 meals. The meatloaf, 4 dinners for 2, 2 lunches, 6 meals. The lasagna, I'm leaving 1 tray to gift to somebody. I have a friend who recently had a baby. They love lasagna, so I'll probably be taking a meal to them, as well as I have 8 dinners and lunches. So those 2 things of lasagnas will create 9 meals. I have a spaghetti portion that is dinner for 2. As far as the stuffed peppers go, I'd say between 4 and 8 people. You know, some people only eat 1, some people might eat 2. So average that as 6 meals. So the final summary, lasagna, let's see, with the chicken, by the way, I did not have to make lunch or dinner yesterday, because when the chicken got done, I ate some of the chicken. When the chili got done, I ate some of the chili. When I was cutting the veggies, I ate some of the veggies. And that way, that's an extra meal or 2 if you count that as lunch and dinner. So with the chicken, 12, chili 6, meatloaf 6, lasagna 9, spaghetti 2, and stuffed pepper 6. That totals 43 meals. So nutritious, organic meals, if you do the math that way, 43 meals would be about $4 per meal. 1 trip to the grocery store. Yes, it was 10 to 12 hours. I'll upside and say it was 12. It was probably more like 11 hours of effort. And that, if it were 12, it's under 17 minutes. It's about 16 minutes and 45 seconds per meal. Sure, when dinner's ready, what's next? I might have to pull something out of the freezer the night ahead of time. I might have a pan and a dish to wash, but less energy usage for heating up your oven as opposed to a stove. I do use a toaster oven all the time, and I'll be right back. I want to show you something. I wanted to show you some of the containers that I use on a regular basis. I don't use a microwave at home. I can use one at work, but this is Kitchen Essentials. It's dishwasher and microwave safe. And this lid comes on. It also has where you can put what date. It has a little wheel. This was purchased at Five Below. So the rest, I don't even remember where I got them, but this little tray works really well in my toaster oven. It's oven safe, it's stovetop safe, works really well for reheating bell peppers, lasagna. Sometimes I just use the tray, my toaster oven tray. These are oven safe, so if you have any little dishes like this or like this, they're oven to table. They can even go in the freezer. They can freeze. They can go in the oven. They can go in the toaster oven, and makes my life really easy. So I hope that you found this video interesting. If you're still here, you must be really motivated. I realize this was a really long video, and some other ideas I have in the future is sticking specific to making stock, to making bone broth. That might be one just on its own, and another one just on their own. I'll talk about water filtering and why I do it and what my water's like here and what I want to be giving to myself that I drink. I refill. I use my own water. I don't use plastic water bottles, or if I do, it's very, very seldom. So those that's what's to come. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to sharing some more information with you in the near future.